What's up, YouTube? It's James Haupt. Welcome to the James Haupt Show. For today's video, actually this is kind of an extension of my last video, because in my last video I talked about basically like being a... Hold on, I gotta turn something off. When you start making a YouTube show and you have a good, sensitive, high quality microphone, my gain is all the way down, it's going to pick up things in the other room, so I had to turn that off. Anyway, so in my last episode I talked about being accountable to yourself and having expectations of reality that come from imaginary ideas that have been put there by like media and video games and stuff like that. And it made me think of a couple things. I'm gonna pull my note up on my screen. I didn't want to I didn't really want to put this in last night's video because I recorded for half an hour and it was a pretty decent single shot, so I didn't want to add too much to it. I like to keep my videos around 30 minutes so y'all can actually have time to watch it if you want, and so that I have time to watch through it if I have to edit it or something like that. But yesterday's worked out in a good clean shot, so we'll try this again in one shot. So I talked about before how people have poor expectations of reality based off of imaginary influences and imaginary experiences, primarily related to things like movies and video games. Actually, mainly I used some examples of Skyrim in that video, but it made me think of something. You know, we all have these strange attachments and habits and things in our life, behavior patterns, addictions, etc., which hold us back. And in life, sometimes things get tough. You end up in a high-stress situation, and it makes you want to quit doing something you're doing because it gets hard. And when I was younger, I read this book. I used to be into like self-help books when I was younger. I read this book called, I think it was called Quitter by John Acuff. He's also got a book called Start. I'm pretty sure it was the same author. They're both great books. Actually, I do recommend these. I kind of grew out of self-help books, and most of them didn't help me at all. But I will say that John Acuff is a great author, and give his books a shout. They'll help you tremendously. But the book Quitter is about, he talks about how he used to jump between jobs, quit projects, quit sports, and things like that in his life that he used to be on. And he always felt like he was spinning his wheels until one day he decided, look, I'm not going to quit anything anymore. I'm going to get this done the right way. And he pursued his career. He started writing his books and all of that. And then he shares that knowledge to the people. Well, yesterday got me thinking, because I talked about video games, but the truth is, I don't play video games. I stopped playing video games entirely. I don't do that. It's a waste of my time. And I've played more. You have no idea how many games I've played. I don't have any idea how many games. I played thousands of games, thousands and thousands of hours since I was 4 years old. And it never really turned into a profession for me, so, well, it kind of became a waste of my time. And after yesterday's video, I realized, and thinking about that book, I remembered that book, it's not just that you can't quit things in life. But in life, we got to stick to the things that matter. And we have to quit the things that count. Quit the things that count. That's what I thought. That's what I realized about myself. Because I've been on this journey for a few years now to really bring my life together and tie it all together and start pursuing my own vision of what I want my life and world to be. And in order to do that, you can't have limitations. You can't have things holding you back. You can't have dependencies. So you have to quit the things that count. You have to quit the things that actually matter, because they don't matter because they're good for you. They matter because they're holding you back. They matter because they're bad for you. So I wrote down a list of things that I quit. And I'll go over it in order because this journey started 4 or 5 years ago. So the first thing that I quit, tobacco. And I use the word quit because it's a prominent word, you get the idea. But I actually prefer the word stop, and I'll tell you why here shortly. But I stopped using tobacco. That was the first thing I stopped in my life. I started using tobacco products when I was in high school. I knew people that smoked cigarettes. I would mess around and smoke a cigarette here and there, but I have asthma. I always had asthma. I couldn't really be smoking cigarettes. It wasn't going to work out. So it wasn't actually cigarettes that I got addicted to. I started using dip. I started using smokeless tobacco. I was a Copenhagen guy for a long time, years. Probably from the time I was like 16 or 17, I started dipping. And all the way up until 2017, I think was when I cut it out for a few years actually, and then I picked it back up. And that's when I was like, you know what? I need to cut this out once and for all. And this comes to the next part, which I found a book called The Easy Way to Stop Smoking by Carr. And I found this book when I was younger and still using tobacco. And I read it, and I was young and naive, and I thought, chew is different than cigarettes, so blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing. But back then I was dumb. And I gave it to people that I knew that I worked with. I gave it to my mom, and people that I knew read the book and stopped smoking. And I was like, wow, it must actually work. So a couple years later, when I was ready, well, I say a couple, this is more than a couple years, but I read the book finally seriously, and in 2019, going into 2020, I did one final pass at reading the book, going through it slowly, absorbing every single little detail. I spent like 3 weeks reading through like a chapter a day, half a chapter a day, rereading everything each day. And until it was all properly absorbed, I stopped tobacco. It was easy. The easy way, it's really easy. I mean, and that book opened my eyes to something that is called the easy way. Now, I'm not the creator. I give all credit of this to Carr, the original author of the easy way. I'll edit some photos of these books into this video. And if I can, I'll put some links in the description because I think this will really help a lot of people. So the first thing I quit in my life that counted was tobacco. And it was like immediate almost. Like you realize immediately when you're done reading the book and you stop, finally you have your last time. And you realize, wow, I'm free. I'm never going to use tobacco again. It's over. You know what I'm saying? And it works. And then after a while, I was like, this worked so well with tobacco, and I have other habits that I would like to just drop out of my life, and how can I apply this to those habits? So anyway, maybe about half a year after that, I've been battling on and off with basically video game addiction throughout basically my whole life, but it was really becoming apparent that it was an issue going into my 20s. I'm 29 now, so I'm in the last year of my 20s now, but for the first several years of my 20s, it became very apparent. When I was 23, I started stand-up comedy. I still do that, and it takes a lot of time and effort to just be a shitty comic that doesn't get paid. It takes a lot of time and effort to do that. It takes a lot of time and effort to suck at stand-up, and I didn't have time and effort to be good at video games and suck at stand-up. So I was like, well, I got to pick one. So I had to stop the game. So I decided to use the easy way to stop the games. And it was almost easier because I was ready. I knew it was enough. I knew I was wasting hours and hours doing nothing productive with my time. I'm going to go in another video. I'm going to go more in depth on video games because this is it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. Nobody talks about it. More people talk about porn addiction than they do about video game addiction. And maybe it's about the same, but from what I've seen online and in my social circles, more people acknowledge the harms of pornography than they do video games. And we'll get onto more of these subjects later. And I'll go into this in more videos. But so I stopped playing games. I used the easy way. And I realized, what does this do for me? What am I getting out of this? Am I enjoying it? Those are the first questions. In the easy method, the easy way, at first you just have to ask yourself some basic questions. What does this do for me? Am I enjoying it? Those are the first questions. That starts the whole thing. And like I said, go read Alan Carr's book. And I have another book that I'll recommend here in a minute that's related to the easy way. But video games had to go. So anyway, I stopped playing video games. Using similar techniques to what I read to stop tobacco. And it was easy. And once again, I felt free. I felt relief. I felt like this is a weight off of my shoulders. I never have to worry about this again. Well, that's kind of a lie. I played some games recently. I lost my car and I couldn't really do shit for a few days. So I was at home playing a couple games until I got a new car. But whereas with tobacco, it's straight up stopped for good. But the point is, I stopped the games again as soon as I had to get the car. But you have to do something when you're at home for a minute and all that. But anyway, I could have been working on this more too. So you stop the video games. And after this point, I realized, that's two habits in my life. Two activities in my life which have been there for so long. And in some way, I think I attached a piece of what I thought of as my identity to these two things, but I realize now it was just drug addictions and dependencies, and I didn't even need that stuff, and it was actually holding me back. So quit the things that count, because my point here is that as you let go of things that hold you back, you'll feel better, you'll feel relief. You think, and this is the thing about the easy way, and if you think about this right now and you're a smoker or you're a gamer, and you're thinking, and you're like, oh man, I could never stop that, dude. Like you feel a sense of dread in your heart when you think about, oh, if I never could play a game again, I would die. If I could never have a cigarette again, I would die. And I know that's how you feel, because that's how I felt. It's hard for me to believe that I'm saying this now. I used to feel that way too. Like it would never be different, and I couldn't do it. I needed these things. What would I do in my free time, or if I was bored, or if I was stressed, or blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. Okay? I'm just here to tell you that. You don't need these things. They're holding you back. But I'm not going to try to, I'm not going to try to scare anybody, because that doesn't help anyone. And read The Easy Way to Stop Smoking. You don't have to stop smoking while you read it. In fact, it's best if you keep smoking as much as you want. You can smoke as much as you want while you read the book. It's actually best if you do. And you know what? Give it a shot. You have nothing to lose. Trust me. If you do complete it and stop, it'll change your life. So tobacco and the video games were gone, knocked out. I quit two things that counted. Because you can start doing so many things in your life. And you can stop doing so many things in your life. You can start and stop a job. You can start and stop being part of a sport. You can start and stop. I've done a bunch of things in my life, and I've stopped doing them. And then I've gone on to other things. And some things that were probably good for me and some things that were bad for me. But this is a list of things that were bad. And every time you lose these dependencies and become free of these traps, of these addictions and bad habits, you just feel better. You sleep better. You worry about less stuff. You have less stress. And that brings me to the main one for now. I think attached to tobacco, drugs. Quit the things that count. Quit doing so many damn drugs. Quit drinking so much alcohol. Quit taking a bunch of drugs. Quit smoking so much damn weed. And trust me, I am a stoner. but I haven't smoked for like 5 days right now, but I haven't stopped that entirely. But I will say it's next. It's probably next. Because the thing is, even if you think these things provide you value, if you go in their absence, you might find that they're actually causing harm as well. And, you know, so that's another thing that counts, that you can stop, you can quit, and it'll change your life. For me, I don't really be doing drugs. I hardly ever drink. I have a beer here and there. I smoke weed. That's the only real drug that I think that I have in my life. Like, because I don't know. It just, for me, I don't know. But like I said, we're working on that one next. Or maybe we're not. But I have cut it back to a pretty low level of intake, honestly. It's actually pretty crazy but that'll be for another video too. I don't want to get too off the rails here. I want to stick to the main focus, which is quitting the things that count. It'll change your life. So things like video games, things like tobacco. The next one, the most recent one, and this is one that I already mentioned briefly, but porn. Quit the things that count. Quit watching porn. Stop watching porn. Like I said, I don't want to use the word quit too much. It just sounds good to say quit the things that count. That just sounds good. That's just one of those bang, bang. That's a banger right there. I'm spitting fire when I say quit the things that count. That's the clip you use as the intro. That's supposed to make me sound smart, like I'm wise and know what I'm talking about, okay? That's called wordplay. Learn about it. I'm just playing with y'all. But porn, that's one of the most recent things. So I used the easy way. This was the next book. I don't want to forget this. The Easy Way to Stop Smoking by Alan Carr has been taken by a hack author. If you don't know what a hack author is, it's someone who writes a book based on the work of another book, and they give credit to the original author, and they don't release it for profit. But it's basically like a hack book. Like they took their ideas and put it on top of something that was already there. Anyway, I recommend this a lot. It's called the Easy Peasy Method. Easypeasymethod.org. I'm going to look this up because one of them doesn't work. Hold on. Easypeasymethod.org. This is a version of the Easy Way to Stop Smoking, but for porn. And it works. And it is easy. And I think this is what really made me want to make this video. Because pornography, and this is hard to admit, I guess, especially since I'm going to put this on YouTube, my YouTube channel. This was my earliest and most pervasive addiction of my entire life. And I think it was the foundational pillar that I built all the rest of the bad behaviors on top of. I was first exposed to pornography at like 8 or 9 years old on the internet. It wasn't anything too crazy. It was just a couple images, you know what I mean? But I was a little kid and I just thought I would be cute and search boobs on Google because I thought it was funny. And hey, there was a lot of pictures of boobs and I was like, dang, I like looking at boobs. This is crazy. I don't know if that really counts as porn, but that was kind of the start. And then after a couple years, you know, you get into start finding collections of DVDs or magazines or whatever. And then the thing was, by the time that I was about 13, 14 years old, the internet was a big thing. I had internet access, and I didn't have constant access to the computer on the internet to get it, but here and there you could sneak a few peeks. And come a couple years later, by the time I got out of high school, this was a full-blown issue of being on the phone every single night, and you know what it is. Look, I'm not going to get into too many greasy details here because look, this ain't for kids, but I'm also trying to, you know, keep this open to a wide audience. So it was a big problem, and I read the Easy Peasy Method, and I stopped watching porn. And I did this a couple of times, and the first time it was like stopped for like, a few months, and then it was like, blah, 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 get back into it, just take a peek or whatever the fuck. And that was that. But this time was official. I reread the book, religiously, the same way I would, the way people would read the Bible. I studied this book like it was the Bible. The same way I did with stopping tobacco. I read the book, I studied it like the Bible. I let that sink into my brain. Night after night, I would read a chapter, and each next day, I would review the chapter I had just read and read the next one. And I reread the whole book like 3, 4, 5 times. I really wanted it to sink in. The same way I would study for a test. The same way I would study to get a certification in tech. The same way just grinding. Just every day reading and reviewing. Every day reading and reviewing. And then reading and reviewing the whole document several times. Over the period of about a month. And I had that final session. And I stopped watching porn. And at this point it has been almost 2 months. Almost 2 months officially. And while I was reading the book the last time, I didn't even follow the instructions all the way because I didn't actually watch any porn. I was basically already a non-user of it. But I was still taking a little session maybe once a month, once every couple weeks. So I don't want to make this sound like I wasn't pretty close. I was already really close. But I waited and finished the book and did the last session. And since that, it's been like 2 months. So technically you could add a month on top of it, like that I hadn't watched any before I finished it. But I'm telling you, man, you stop these things. You quit the things that count. It changes your life. It changes your life. Because now I'm at a point where there's no distractions. I don't have any real distractions. Like I get up, I work out. Now I can start getting back to work on my YouTube channel. I can do all these things, and I don't have anything in my brain stopping me. So these are all the things that I've stopped in my life. I've quit the things that count, and it's paying off tremendously. And so I just thought this was a natural extension of the last video I did and gets into more details. And I really wanted to put this out here because I think it's important. I want people to know this stuff, okay? Because these are things that help me a lot. And I want to say this because I had watched so many self-improvement content on the internet, on YouTube. Many amazing, incredible creators and channels, which many of you may already know of and also watch their content. I don't want to say any names because then I'd have to list them all. There's just too many good people out there to count. But I will say this, out of all the self-help books that I read in my life, out of every self-improvement channel that I watched in my life, the things that have helped me most as a person is quitting the things that count. I'm serious. This is a big deal because one thing I've realized about self-improvement is that when you stop these things, when you cut them out of your life, you become more confident, because you just accomplished a big goal. And look, I say the easy way. The book is the easy way. The method is the easy way. And let me tell you, it is easy. You will stop. You will be free of these things. You will feel so relieved. You will praise God every day that you're free of these things in your life. It will change everything. But the truth is, until you know the methods and read the books and do the work, it is not easy to stop these bad habits. The thing is that until you do the work and really do it, and that's my point. I could watch all of the videos I want. I could do all the self-help reading I want. But the fact is, until I went in and implement the methods and do it in my own life for real, that is when things change. And that's why you have to quit the things that count. You have to quit all the things holding you back, all your dependencies, all of your addictions, all your bad habits. Maybe you don't have to drop everything 100% because maybe not everything is a problem for you. But you certainly have to quit the things that are a problem for you. And the last thing I wrote on here, and this is for myself, this is just a reminder to me, is to quit being lazy. Quit being lazy, you lazy fuck. Every time that you get up and you don't do what you know you need to do, you're being lazy. You're being lazy, and you quit that. This is for me. Quit that. You got to do the work. Do the work, James Howe. Do the work, okay? And that's what I'm doing here. That's why I wanted to make this video for y'all. I wanted to give you another 30 minutes. I wanted to give you some more knowledge, some more wisdom, and especially relating to what I was already talking about. And that's pretty much it. So I hope this can help somebody out there, because that's the reason I'm doing this. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If you watch my videos and you enjoy my message and what I'm trying to put out there, please like this. Please subscribe to the channel, and please share this. Share it. If you don't like it or comment or subscribe, that's fine. But please share this to someone you know. Play this video on your phone and put this in front of their damn face and say, "Listen to this dude," because this is. Here's the thing about me, man. I'm just a regular dude. I'm nothing special. Okay? I'm not special. I'm just a regular dude. Okay? I'm just some broke local comic that ain't shit, that's just trying to help people online, because this is stuff that's helped me. And also, I just want to say that's what it's about, because to be honest, it's kind of boring for me to do this. I do enjoy it, but it's kind of boring. The thing that keeps me wanting to do it for real is that I know life ain't about me. I ain't special. Life is about people, and I have to do this for the people. So anyway, I hope this message helps somebody. Again, quit the things that count. You'll be free. It'll change your life. Anyway, that's all for this video. Peace.